Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another deck profile. This time we're going to go over another top 32 list from the European Open. Unfortunately, we weren't able to set up a player interview, but this is going to be Ron Garget's top 32 Knockout Strike Gogeta deck profile. So he gave me some notes on the deck. He gave me some shout outs. I'm going to get to those at the end, but we're going to go through his deck list. Just going to try and make sense of what he played. We'll wrap it up at the end with the notes. And this is the one deck that in my meta breakdown, I couldn't really identify what he was playing. I assumed he was playing Storm stuff because of the leader's backside ability to limit counterattacks, but he actually went with the straight up Gogeta package and actually played the Gogeta Secret Rare, which is pretty sick to note that he got top cut with that. So before we get into this deck profile, guys, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date with all the awesome Dragon Ball Super content I post here. Definitely look in the description down below for our Discord server if you're into that, because we have a great community of guys down there that are looking to help you out with your decks, talk about the game, give you guys the spoilers when they come out. It's as soon as we release, we have one guy that's super dedicated to that, so that's awesome. Definitely check them out. And if you guys are longtime fans of the channel, if you want to help me out, help bring you guys this content that you guys know and love, you can check out my Patreon down in the description below as well. Really helps me just bring you guys this content. I've got a lot of competitive articles down there as well. I've got a few Patreon shoutouts to get to, and I've been a little bit slacking with that. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to get to it right now. Shouts out to Alfonso, David, Benjamin, Anthony, and Alexander. Thank you guys so much for deciding to support me. It really means the world. And yeah, with that being said, we'll get into this deck profile. So we've got the Knockout Strike starter deck Gogeta leader. Now this is just really interesting to me because at the last Atlantic City event, we saw the promo Gogeta movie leader, hit top cut there with the Storm package. That was just to wipe the board of effects and, negate Borgoses, negate striving to be the best on Gokus. That was really cool. And now we have the other complement to that Gogeta with the starter deck Gogeta. So if you guys don't know what this leader does, because he hasn't really been super meta relevant, I'll go over it real quick. He is an attack burst 2 leader. So mill top 2 cards of your deck when you attack, draw a card, awaken at 4 life, untap 2 energy. On the backside, we have Knockout Strike Gogeta. He attacks, and when you have Sparking 5, when you have 5 in your drop area, you draw a card. If you have 3 energy or more, he gains plus 5k, and if you have 5 energy or more, he gains double strike. So pretty beefy attacker, especially when you get to the later parts of the game like this deck wants to. And then activate main, you can discard a card, and your opponent can only activate 1 counter for the remainder of the turn. So they actually changed that ruling. Just you guys should all be aware of this. So I'll tell you guys. What happened back in the day was when this leader first came out, you can discard a card at any point in the turn, and if your opponent had already activated a counter in that turn, it would the game state would kind of remember that, and your opponent would no longer be able to activate counters. But for some reason they decided to change that ruling. Now if your opponent's not limited until you activate that effect, if that makes sense. Sorry, that was a little bit of a word jumble for me to get out there, but yeah, you have to activate this effect kind of right at the beginning of your turn if you want to limit your opponent's negates to 1. It does not remember it throughout the whole game state like it once did. So with that being said, we'll get into the deck profile. So the Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan at a 3 of, I guess this was his tech option. Just hitting things like Chain Zeno, Shenron Veggies, Shugesh decks. This is actually a good main deck card to have Shugesh if you don't want to fully commit to the Cronoa. One reason you might not want to commit to the Cronoa is because you just want to have something that hits a variety of more things, which Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan does. So good tech option for sure, and it's some self-awakening in the deck, which you definitely don't want to be sitting on your backside, the front side the entire game, because if you're a burst leader, you have a serious problem with potentially decking out. So I think it was a good main deck choice. 4-Dimension Magic, you're a blue leader, busted card, no question. Soul Punisher, this is a really good card with this leader. I really like this ratio as well. Just hitting that double strike crit on the backside for a 35k off 1 energy and 1 card. That's really pressuring. And if you're able to resolve that with your Gogeta Hero Revived, you can put them from 5 to 0 essentially, right? With your leader, double strike crit, they don't get to play with any new cards, and then your Gogeta going for game. That's really powerful. So I like that ratio a lot. I like that card a lot. Also, don't sleep on that card on defense as well. A 1 energy 15k combo on your leader on defense, it's pretty good. 4 Senzu Bean, blue staple. 3 Objection, you're playing a mid-range deck, you want to get to that Gogeta as fast as possible. Objection, it makes perfect sense here. Now we have our fusion package. So he's playing 3 Super Saiyan Goku Vanilla, and he's got 1 Vanilla Super Saiyan Vegeta. This makes a lot of sense with the cards I see here in the deck for later on, but I don't even know if he needs this Vanilla Super Saiyan Vegeta. I mean, I don't think he plays anything to search it out, really. So I don't think it's even that necessary because he plays plenty of fusion targets, but I guess he just wanted to have an even, what is that? That's going to be 6 Vegetas and 6 Gokus on top of the Fusion Reborns. So a lot of fusion targets here. Might not have needed them. Might have been able to trim them to just fit some other things, like maybe more Unbreakables. But, I mean, he got top cut with the deck. I'm not going to really question his deck building choices, but really solid overall. I also wonder, I mean, it makes sense that you play Gogeta Hero Revived, but Dimension Support Trunks would have been kind of cool here too, but it makes total sense that you couldn't play that because of Gogeta. Then we have the Great Saiyaman Super Combo. That's just your Sparking 5 Super Combo. Now, this is like the real reason to play this deck, right? If you're going to play a Gogeta leader, these are the 2 cards right here that you want to take advantage of with this leader. They're actually really, really solid when you when you fuse with them, sorry. So, Fusion Reborn Vegeta, again, another not very meta-relevant card, so I'll go over it. 3-drop, 20k battle card. When this card's placed in your drop area from your hand as a result of Union Fusion, if your leader is Gogeta, that's the key thing there. Your leader has to be Gogeta. You can choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So this makes your fusions even cheaper, which is really cool. You can't necessarily do it on turn 4, but if you tap out on 5 for Gogeta Hero Revived, you can get an energy backup, and that pretty much sets up your whole combo to Soul Punisher your opponent and then kill them with Gogeta Hero Revived. I'm sure he won many games like that, so that's really good. Fusion Reborn Son Goku. When this card's placed in your drop area from your hand as a result of Union Fusion, if your leader card's Gogeta, draw 1 card, 3-drop 20k. So not only are these guys beefy attackers, but they're just good cards. Like, when you fuse this guy, he replaces himself. So he turns your Gogeta Hero Vibe into an additional draw. He turns your Ultimate Fusion Gogeta into 3 draws. Really, really good. Just straight value there. Really good cards. 2 Deadly Offender Vegeta. Kind of interesting, there's only 2 in the deck, but I guess it makes sense because you can fetch it out of the deck with the Resolute Strength Son Goku. Makes total sense why he's playing the Super Saiyan Son Goku. I'll go over this card because we haven't seen this card in Top Cut, I don't think really ever, to be honest. So 4-drop 20k. Evolve for 1 blue over a Super Saiyan Son Goku. Kind of interesting that they didn't make this an EX Evolve. I mean, typically when you have Evolve costs so reduced like that, you tend to see them kind of be like called EX Evolves rather than regular Evolves, but whatever, it's kind of semantics. Barrier, Auto, Burst 5, which seems pretty hefty in like a Burst leader deck, but if you're able to awaken fast enough, which I guess this is a really good combo against aggro decks, so it makes sense that you can get an additional burst off so that your Gogeta plays are live. So Resolute Strength Son Goku, Burst 5. When a card evolves into this card, choose 1 card in your life, place in the drop area, so more of that self crit just like the Gogeta 7 has. Then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 2 or less, ignoring barrier, placed at the bottom of the owner's deck. That's a really good effect because you can get rid of things like striving to be the best on Goku, which actually do prevent your vanillas from attacking, which can be kind of annoying. I'm sure in this deck sometimes you just need to go aggro with those 2-drop vanillas, and striving can prevent that. But this also hits things like Borgos, which is really good because you want to have that Fusion Reborn Vegeta play when you drop Gogeta 7. So that's really, really good. And ignores barrier, which is on top, excellent. And place at the bottom of the owner's deck. Choose 1 Deadly Defender Vegeta from your deck or drop area and play it. So that's really good. You can even afford to mill your Deadly Defender Vegeta as well, and then you can shuffle your deck. So big pressure right there. A little bit of an aggressive play on turn 3. You can just go 1 energy to this guy, and then you have 2 more energy to play with. That's really solid. 3 auto cost Vegeta, one of the best blue cards in the entire game. And when you're playing a Gogeta leader and you're able to play Fusion Reborns, these 2 cards right here, auto cost Vegeta is another great fusion target because you can fuse him with a vanilla Goku or a Fusion Reborn Goku, get an additional draw. So he just has a lot of synergy in the deck. He's 3 more Self Awakeners, so you got a total of 6 Self Awakeners in the deck, not counting Dimension Magic, which can technically also Self Awaken. So pretty good there. I like those ratios a lot. For Ultimate Fusion Gogeta, this is interesting. This leader doesn't have the most draw power, so I can see 4 here. I guess he was really relying on this card a lot on turn 4, even turn 3, I guess, because you can cheat him out for 4. You hit objection, you're golden right there. So really good card. I'm sure this was the main workhorse of the deck, right next to the Gogeta Hero Revived. So Gogeta Hero Revived, all know what he does. Absolutely busted. What's really interesting, and actually now that I think about it, it makes a lot more sense why you play so many Gokus and Vegetas, and of course you want to play an even amount, is the Miraculous Fighter SS3 Gogeta. So I haven't read his notes yet because I wanted it to be a surprise, just like with all you guys. Hopefully there's nothing crazy in those notes that I'm gonna miss, but yeah, that makes sense why he played an even number of Gokus and Vegetas to activate this guy's effect. I wonder if he played his deck just because he wanted to resolve the secret rare. One of my friends, you guys all know, Larry from the channel, he absolutely loves this card, thinks it's absolutely over the top busted. I don't necessarily think about it like that, but it is a solid card. So let's see. Place all cards from your hand other than this card in the drop area. You can evolve it for free over a Gogeta 7. There's your EX Evolve right there. Critical, Union Fusion for 6 energy, 3 blue, 3 colorless with a Son Goku and a Vegeta. They have to have the same cost, of course. Ultimate, Deflect, so there's no negating this guy. Sparking 15, choose a Goku and a Vegeta card from your drop area, place them at the bottom of the deck. switch this card to active mode. So the theory is like you Gogeta 7 someone, you wipe their hand down to 3, which, you know, typically they're going to be defenseless unless they draw like the peel off. But actually, this card doesn't really care about peel off because they're still going to be forced to eat a bunch of damage. So the idea is you ditch your hand, you have like, you know, in this scenario you've got what, 3, 7, 10. You got 10 potential swings with this guy if you can manage to get all your Gokus and Vegetas into the grave. I'm sure the average is like 4 to 5, maybe 6. So you get this guy swinging off 6 times with crit. Your opponent never gets a new card, and you can just end the game like that. Now this is a really cool thing because if you have the math in your hand, like if you have the appropriate number of Gokus and Vegetas in your drop area, and let's say your opponent's at 4 life, if you can resolve this guy 4 times and swing 4 times with crit at a 40k, your opponent might even lose from there. So it takes your Gogeta 7 and kind of allows you to 4 to 0 someone or 5 to 0 someone, which is pretty powerful. Unbreakable Super Senton Goku. This is a card I would like to see at more in the deck, but I guess technically the additional copies of Unbreakable are just like the Soul Punishers, because you want to play something that takes advantage of your Dimension Magic, right? So your Dimension Magic gives you free energy on your opponent's turn. You want to play something that takes advantage of that, which 2 Unbreakable is really good, and Soul Punisher also being a 15k combo is really, really solid as well. So we'll hop over to the side deck. 2 Dende new to the job. I'm sure this is just to slow down, you know, Shenron and anything playing Objection, things like that. If you're not playing the Shenron Figure of Majesty, I'm not personally a huge fan of Dende because it's a very steep energy investment. That 3 energy investment can be really steep sometimes, especially if you're not playing the Shenron Figure of Majesty to recycle a Dende. But he can't really play Force Ejection Mass Sand in this deck because he's playing a Sparking deck and you can't really afford to do that. 2 Kami just for anything that goes wide, like veggies, like Broly Storm, things like that. Crisis Crusher to prevent some aggro. Haru, those green and yellow matchups, especially I'm sure those Broly matchups. 2 Burnish Bonds Borgos, lots of 2-ofs in the side deck over here. 2 Peel Off, I'm sure this is for Shenron, just pesky things with triple attack, or triple strike, sorry, or triple attack. And 3 Mafuba, probably for Victory Strike, probably just for those boss monster oriented decks. Kind of surprised to not see more Borgoses, and kind of surprised to not see any striving to be the best on Gokus. I guess he just wasn't that afraid of aggro. I guess Crisis Crusher just proved to be better for the most part. But that's really interesting. So I'm going to go over to Ron's notes and give them a read. So shoutouts would be to Antics, which is my locals, and Mike, who helped me test a lot, and some notes in the deck. It's really versatile. The deck has barrier removal in the SS3 Goku, normal board removal with the 5-drop Gogeta, and can normally play the 7-drop faster than Shenron as it Union Fusions consistently, and then finish it, get them to 5, play the 7-drop, then Soul Punisher them to 3, and then finish with triple strike from the 7-drop. It's a little weak to hand control as it's a fusion deck, and the SCR is insane when it goes off, but Soul Punisher is definitely the MVP. The rule change on the leader didn't matter too much, but does mean you have to shotgun the effect. That's about it. Those are all his notes on the deck. So like I said, guys, it makes perfect sense that he goes Soul Punisher to win the game. Soul Punisher on the leader, double strike down to 3. Gogeta Hero revives, you know, to win the game. And he did note that the SCR is actually insane when you are able to resolve it. So guys, that's his deck profile. Would have been cool to get the interview. I would have liked to you know, see his tournament report, like what he played against, what his matchups were, how he won the game majority of the times. I would have loved to know how many games he used the Miraculous Fighter SS3 Gogeta. Maybe drop those questions down in the comments below, and I'll get him to answer those for you guys in the comments. Yeah, guys, any comments you have on the deck, definitely leave them in the comments down below. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name's Joey. This is Crossroad TCG. Wish me luck at ARG Vegas, and I'll see you guys there. Yo, what's up, Dragon Ball players? DP here. Me and Joey just come back from locals. We're just hanging out in his room, you know, eating chimichangas, playing cards. You know the deal. Man, he really does have like a nice pad for you guys to check out while you guys are watching his videos, huh? Real scenic, real nice to look at. Hey, while you're here, you guys should subscribe to the channel, you know, watch some of the other videos. Pretty cool place to get some nice Dragon Ball content. You guys see my shirt? I love this shirt. I love Spider-Man. He's like my hero.